And welcome back to another episode of Across the Board. A little different here.
We're actually together for once.
Yeah, a little different. Decided on January the 5th to do this. Yeah, it is January the 5th. Monday, we got we got two sports to talk about mainly, like we do every Monday. College basketball and college football. So, yeah, might as well jump right in, huh?
Yeah, let's go for it. We'll go with some games of the week. Kind of just recapping. We'll start with Michigan State and Nebraska. It's the Cornhuskers, 14-0 now?
Yeah.
58-56 final. How about that?
58-56. Man, Nebraska. I mean, they might be legitimate. They might be. Beat a good Michigan State squad. Close game. They were tied at half at 33 apiece?
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, Nebraska played great. Man, I don't know. If they can beat Michigan State, then I think they could beat. I don't know. Can't say they're going to beat Michigan, but
it's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah, but Michigan State, man, they look like a great team as well. So it's kind of scary for the Big Ten. They might be able to do something. They've got a couple of easier games in the Big Ten coming up. Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Northwestern. They don't play Michigan until the 27th.
I will say Ohio State is favored in that game. I think what I have right now, they're favored by 2.5.
Gosh, that's I wouldn't put them favored.
No, just the app I'm on, so that could be different for all the other sites. But I've had them right here. They're at 2.5, which I was definitely pretty surprised to see.
Yeah,
especially for how good they've been playing.
Yeah, but great game there. They played great
for sure. Let's move on to the ACC. Stanford knocks off Louisville, 80-76.
Yeah. Louisville just didn't have the game. They didn't play too great. It was like, I don't know. He wouldn't have thought the Stanford team would have beat them all. Would he just beat them? But at the same time, Stanford hasn't looked terrible, and they really haven't. If people haven't watched any of Stanford basketball, they haven't looked terrible. But they're not the greatest team in the ACC. And for Louisville, who's supposed to be one of the better teams in the ACC, they shouldn't have lost this game.
And Stanford only put up 40 last game against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I know. They get beat by a Notre Dame squad. Right, they beat Notre Dame?
Notre Dame beat them 40.
That's what I thought.
I mean, they could not score.
And Notre Dame's not great. So, man, for Louisville to let 80 points put on them, lose by 4 to Stanford, going to be kind of tough, man. I don't know. They didn't shoot well. 3-point percentage for Louisville was only 22%. They went 6 for 27. So, yeah, not what you need. They did out-rebound, though, but it's just they never led this game, basically. They led for quite a bit to start off, but then Stanford took over the game in the second half and just couldn't do anything. So, I don't know, man. It might be troublesome for the Cardinals. We'll see. They've got a tough game coming up next at Duke.
Oh, gosh.
Tomorrow. Oh. So, got to bounce back pretty quickly. I mean, they play Duke 2 times in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so the 6th and the 26th. Mm-hmm. They've got to bounce back.
Well, we're going to move to Saturday. Or no, we're going to stay with Friday game. USC, Michigan. Michigan just
pretty much did what we thought. I'm about to say pretty much did what we thought. USC's been beat up all year. They've been battling injuries, and they don't really know who's they've had guys step up. They've, and it's just they hasn't been their best year, even though their record is fine. Nothing's wrong with them, but it was a ranked matchup. Don't really know if USC should have been ranked, but again, Michigan's just too good.
I think that's the hard thing to talk about when we speak about teams being ranked or playing Michigan. Michigan, they killed Gonzaga. Obviously, this is back in the players era, but
yeah,
whether teams should be ranked or not, Michigan's beat teams by a lot. So either way, it's kind of hard to even sit here and
exactly. I mean, man, it's tough when playing Michigan. They're big, they're physical, and they can shoot the ball better than almost anybody in the country. So it's just 30 points. 30 points. There. Against a ranked team. It's still a ranked win. 30 points is, I don't know, man. That's kind of insane to me. They don't have a tough schedule coming up if you're Michigan, though. You don't play another ranked matchup until you play Nebraska on the 27th.
I'm ready to see that game.
As of right now, Penn State, Wisconsin, Washington are the next 3 games. So, man, I think Michigan can run it. They then have Nebraska and Michigan State back to back. They do play Duke randomly on the February 21st.
Oh,
So that should be a good game.
I know they sprinkle some. I know something sprinkle like some like non-con in there.
Yeah, they pretty sure they play a game at MSG, but Michigan, man, just too good.
Yeah,
too good.
I want to move over to Saturday, but what's going on in Gainesville? I mean, Missouri,
man,
kind of back to where
we didn't play in Gainesville, so.
Well, I know, but I'm just speaking of Gainesville in general in Florida. What's going on? I mean,
we just we look terrible. To be completely honest, we look terrible. It's the same storyline every single game for Florida that they lost. They had a lead. Well, they had an 8-point lead on Mizzou in the first half, and then let up a late 3 by Mizzou's center. It was first 3 he's ever taken, first career 3-pointer made, and he made it at the buzzer at halftime. I think that when he made that, I knew we were kind of just like screwed. It was not going to go well in the second half, and we got down 10 in the second half, came back, was up 1. I think it was like 65-64, and then we couldn't do anything else. I mean, legitimately couldn't do anything else. We let up a few bad shots for Mizzou, fouled them a couple times, and we couldn't make shots. And it's just guard play and shooting. I mean, I've heard it said a ton. If our percentages were like 2 to 3 percentage points higher in shooting, we would be one of the best teams in the nation. We would be. Mm-hmm. But we shoot so bad that it doesn't help. And going down the stretch, especially with our guards, if they can't make shots when the ball's given to them and we got to have a clutch shot, it's just bad. Thomas Houck, though, 24 points. Could be SEC Player of the Year. Just want All-American, at least at this point. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
All right, let's move to Arkansas, Texas, another SEC matchup. Arkansas wins 86-75.
Good game. Good game for Arkansas. Yeah. I mean, they look like the Arkansas team we've seen. I know they've had some ups and downs early in non-conference play, and like when they lost to Texas Tech, they beat Texas Tech. They beat Texas Tech, then they lost to Houston a couple days later, and we've seen it. They've been up and down. Their guards play, it's been really good, or it's been kind of and they looked great They looked great against a good Tennessee squad. Both teams should compete in the SEC pretty well. Easily, Arkansas's probably got to be one of the favorites at this point, I imagine. I know Florida was still the favorite, but then they lose to Mizzou. So
there's a lot of teams up there, man. A lot of as a favorite, I don't know, but I know some people have obviously talked about Alabama, Arkansas. Some said Vandy.
I think Vandy. Yeah,
I think that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah. Speaking of Arkansas, though, it's SEC. SEC play is not easy, but they do have Ole Miss next, and then Auburn, South Carolina. Then they go back-to-back ranked teams as of right now, Georgia, Vandy. So I didn't mention Florida's schedule, but they do go Georgia, Tennessee next 2 games, which just whatever.
All right, moving on. SMU knocks off number 12 North Carolina. They beat the Tar Heels 97-83.
I honestly, I don't know what to say. SMU's not bad. They started off the season undefeated for quite a while, and
not a bad school. Not a bad program.
Man, I don't know. It was just kind of leading scorer. Miller had 27 points. They just played a good game. I mean, UNC didn't. I don't know. They never led this game. UNC did. It never basically led it, and I just don't think they ever had. They've really never had a chance. If you were UNC, it just kind of felt like SMU was giving it their all and just kind of backing them down to a corner, and they couldn't do anything. I mean, they win by 14 points, something that a 12th ranked UNC squad should not be doing, especially to a team like SMU who, yeah, they have good players, but like at the same time, you're thinking UNC, it's North Carolina. They gotta step up. These are games that y'all need to win, especially in the ACC. And it just, I don't know, man. they had 10 turnovers, so not bad, but they only shot 68% from the free throw line, and SMU led by 16 points at one point. It's just like
it can't happen. I mean, you're North Carolina, like you said. It should never happen.
well, the thing is too is that Trimble had 22 for UNC, and that's basically, I mean, that was it for them. That was their leading scorer, and that was really all their main points were coming from Trimble. You get the ball to him, and he plays great, but you can only do so much when you only have one guy. So we'll see for UNC what that entails coming up. Looking at their schedule right now, their next three are Wake Forest, Stanford, and Cal.
Those are going to be some interesting games.
Stanford, I meant
Stanford's had their moments this year. Wake Forest is not a bad school.
No,
they've had.
They do go Cal Notre Dame. So Cal did beat. They beat
Notre Dame by 1. That was an insane 4-point play that coach was certainly not pleased with.
No, they were not. They don't have a tough schedule coming up. They do play Virginia somewhere around like the 28th. Then they play Duke on the 7th of February. But other than that, I mean, again, it's the ACC. They should bounce back. It's not at least it hasn't been a tough conference in the recent years, which is hard to say for ACC fans. But hasn't been a tough conference, so they could easily bounce back and win some games and still compete for the ACC.
Yeah, so that's interesting there. So we'll move on to a couple more games. We'll go to Alabama, Kentucky. Alabama wins 89-74. I honestly thought Kentucky would pull off a win, or at least make it.
You thought they would compete, especially with Jaden Quayton's being back.
I thought that would change something. I really thought it would spark something.
And we talked about it last time. That the last time we talked about Kentucky, we were like, well, they bounce back, they get Jaden Quayton's back, and the team's looking a lot better. But it kind of, I think maybe the one coming back game for Jaden Quayton's looked really good, and then they kind of settled back into what we've seen for Kentucky. 15-point loss to Bama. Bama's good. Yes, they are, but the 15-point loss to Kentucky, and they've really never had a chance in this game. I mean, Otega Oweh. They played great. I mean, this is the game that people wanted to see from Oweh. He had 22 points, but then their starters combined for a whopping 20 points. Other than him, 20 points from the rest of your starters and 4 other guys. And I mean, Jalen Lowe on the bench had 21. But when that's the only points you're getting from people, those are your 2 highest scorers there for the game. That's it. A bench guy and then Otega Oweh. You're not getting much. You're not. So I don't know. Kentucky's still gonna have to find some play from someone else. Lowe's kind of a new one to get play from for Kentucky, but at the same time, I don't know. You gotta figure something out if you're Kentucky. You can't be losing games like this. So it'll be tough.
All right, we're gonna move to one more Saturday game, then we'll jump over to one game Sunday, and then we'll get on the stress meter and whatnot. Start with Georgia Auburn thriller, 104-100 final. Georgia gets the win.
Man, people talk about Georgia kind of under the radar. People thought maybe they were good, maybe not. They shoot, all right. So people thought maybe this is what they needed. And going into, Auburn going to Georgia and going into the game against Auburn, people thought Auburn could still win this game. I mean, they're a good squad. Obviously, they haven't been up to their standard with, new coach. But this game, man, crazy buzzer beater at the end there for Auburn to tie, force it to overtime. But then Auburn really, they kind of gave it away in overtime. They kind of never really had a chance. Obviously, lost 104-100. Tahad Pettiford had 25, but Wilkinson for Georgia had 31. So, just outballed them. I mean, Georgia looked good, though. They shot the ball well. I would be kind of scared about how they gave away that game at the end. They really shouldn't have. They should have just kind of won that game. And games like this are going to happen. You're going to lose some games you shouldn't lose. And that's just how it's going to be. But at the same time, I'd be kind of, I don't know, I'd be kind of scared to see if that happens again, if they kind of give away games towards the end, if they have a lead, but they play Florida, next game tomorrow, so they play at Florida. It's the only thing we're good on that, but they do play, and then they play South Carolina, Ole Miss, and then Arkansas on the 17th. So SEC play for Georgia. It's going to be tough no matter who you play, but we'll see what they can do.
Now, we're going to stick to Saturday for one more game, and just St. John's, man. I mean, what happened? I mean,
they suck. I mean, to be completely real, they suck. They're not the squad we saw last year. They don't have the efficiency. They don't have the play. Well, I can't even say they don't have the players because they do, but they just. I don't know. I don't know if it was a one-hit wonder from them last year, and we just saw an amazing team, and we're not going to see any of that this year. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough watching St. John's. It really is, because you think they could be good, and obviously Patino's great, but you can only do so much when you're not shooting well. When you shoot as bad as they have, and you're just not. You're never in games like you should be. So tough loss for them. I will see where that goes from here with them and what they actually do, because either they go up or they keep trending down. And the thing is, the Big East is not great. We've said this, it's not great. We're looking for that third, fourth team to get in, and we thought the first two were going to be UConn, St. John's. Now it's kind of looking like UConn, Seton Hall, more than likely. And it's like, man, is St. John's even going to? I mean, they even at this rate, they're not going to make the tournament.
No,
but I don't know. It's tough for St. John's. I don't know what their schedule is coming up. Here, let me look real quick. Next 3 games for St. John's is Butler, Creighton, and Marquette.
I think 3 games they should win.
But again, lose to Providence. Butler and Creighton could beat you.
Yeah.
They're not a bad ball squad, so they could beat you. They play Seton Hall on the 20th, which will be a tough game. Well, they go 3 tough games, I think, in my mind, after those 3. Villanova, Seton Hall, Xavier. So then they play, they go to UConn February the 6th. So
yeah, I think Seton Hall is a nice little moving point to our next game and final game for Sunday. Seton Hall knocks off Creighton, man, and they're just continuing.
Tough game. Tough battle game. 56-54. Defensive game. Not something you're really used to from this Creighton squad. Seton Hall, though, well, I don't really know what you should be used to, because last year they only had 7 wins, and they have almost double that at this point. So, but the Seton Hall squad looking great. They're a tough ball squad. They're tough. They kind of just get it done. They're not pretty. Games aren't pretty. That's the only thing to kind of look at to see maybe what Seton Hall could be better. They could kind of run away with some of these games. They don't really ever run away purely. They kind of let people back into these games, kind of keep it close. But they've got a tough schedule coming up. They play Georgetown, then UConn, then Butler. So they play UConn at home, though. So UConn has to come to them. That could be good for them. That'd be a tough game, though. If they could beat that game, then who knows? They might just run the Big East this year. They're looking great, though. Definitely a tournament team at this point. And we'll see what they can keep doing.
All right. So before we get into the games of the week, I just want to talk about a team real quick, or Murray State, 9 in a row in the MVC, man. What's it looking like over there?
Looking like a good basketball team, man. I think it's probably the team to look at for the MVC. We've said this before. I know we've talked about the MVC and who could be good, and there's a lot of good teams. But Murray State's definitely your favorite right now.
They just beat Bradley by 20. I believe it was yesterday.
Yeah, I know, and Bradley's not bad.
Bradley's a good squad.
Bradley is a good team.
I think they're a top 3 possible finish in that conference. Let alone one tops one that's they
would. Well, yeah, they were one of the favorites. Other teams have stepped up into that spot, kind of probably over Bradley a little bit, but at the same time, it's a good team you played. You beat them by 20. I mean, that's
They've won 9 in a row.
uh,
9 in a row, man.
Undefeated at home right now. They're playing great. They're the team to beat in the MVC. Illinois State could easily kind of jump up there. We've seen them kind of beat some teams. They beat Indiana State earlier.
They competed with Utah State.
They did, yeah.
Basically the top team in the Mountain West, and most likely going to win the Mountain West.
Belmont or Northern Iowa could kind of give them a trouble as well. Belmont's a good team, but Murray State, man, they're looking good. They're looking like a team. If I had to pick right now, and kind of like a 12th seed in the tournament, that'd be my pick. They could win some games in the tournament potentially. Maybe have a deep run. They have a couple of easy games coming up though in Evansville, Valparaiso, and Indiana State. The couple big teams they play that we were talking about, they play back to back to back. They go the 24th. They play Northern Iowa. 28th they play Illinois State, and then the 31st they play Belmont. So that'll be the stretch of games that you want to watch if you're an MVC fan or just want to get into the MVC. Watch those games. Watch any of them, actually. They're fun to watch. But Murray State, fan, good squad.
They're playing good. All right, we'll go ahead and talk about some games of the week, and then we'll go into our stress meter. We've got a lot of teams on here, so we'll speed through them. But we'll go ahead and just start with some games of the week. Of course, we have Nebraska, Ohio State on Monday.
Yeah, and then today, one of the very few games. There's 3 Big Ten games,
and then USC, Michigan State.
Yep,
is our next one.
Yeah,
and then
be a couple of good teams.
Yeah. Tuesday we got Duke, Louisville, and then we have what else do we have here? Oh yeah, Texas Tech, Houston.
Okay,
that's another one. Wednesday.
Yeah,
let's see. Wednesday there's really nothing going on. Wednesday, Belmont, UNI, and St. Louis and VCU.
Yeah, St. Louis VCU should be a great game. SLU, man, they're looking like a team.
I think 39 now in the Kemp.
They're looking good. They're looking like definitely a team that could go deep in the tournament.
Oh yeah, and you have Vandy, Alabama.
That's a great game there.
Yeah. That's gonna be a good one. Let's see here, and then Friday, Saturday, Tennessee, Florida.
Yep.
Nebraska, Indiana. And that'll be an interesting one. George Mason and VCU. I think that
another great.
I think that'll be an interesting one to look out for. Let's see. I think we're going to shift over to Sunday now, I believe.
SMU just played Duke on Saturday, just to say. It could be I don't know. Could SMU go back to back here? Could kind of win a couple of big games, start off ACC play? That would be. Ooh.
And that's all the games of the week we have.
Listen. There's a lot of good games out there. Again,
once conference play begins, man.
Conference play, everything's good. Everything's good to watch. If you want to watch any games, they're all good. Illinois does play Iowa Sunday. That was basically it. So, man, again, any conference game,
that's good.
It's good to watch. Watch any conference. I don't care any of them.
No. Yeah, all gonna be good. Definitely go watch those. Our game the stress meter. I do have 5. So I got 6 teams on here. So let's just
run through this. Yeah,
let's run through them fast. A repeat. We have Louisville on here getting beat by Stanford.
It's tough to say because again, the ACC is not supposed to be great, but seeing Stanford, seeing SMU, maybe it's not as easy as we think this year. We've seen it happen in the ACC where these teams get hot, they win a couple of games, and maybe they shouldn't. Then they kind of fall off later on in the year. Saw it last year, but I don't know. Louisville's got to bounce back. Like we said, they have a kind of an easier schedule here coming up, but again, we got to see better. We got to see better play. We got to see the play that we saw a couple weeks ago when they were beating these teams, or like when they beat Kentucky by a time. That game, they looked great. They looked like they could be one of the top teams in the nation, and we haven't seen the guard play. We haven't seen the defense from them. They got to put it together. Mm-hmm. But if any team's going to put it together, and with any schedule that they have, ACC-wise, they can do it. Yeah. So to rank them on the stress meter, I would say I'm probably like a 6. They didn't look great, but they also have room to improve, and they have the chances to improve.
All right, I told you we have a mid-major on here for the first time.
You did.
I put Belmont on here.
Okay.
They've lost their last 2.
Okay.
Lost tough on SIU yesterday, and then lost a close one to Indiana State.
Yeah. Belmont's a hard one because it's like like we were just talking about the NBC, and they're they can easily still win the MVC. They're not out of it by any chance, and they've looked good in non-conference play. In conference play, there's going to be teams that are going to beat other teams that really shouldn't. You're going to have teams like UIC beat a couple teams. You're going to have Evansville probably beat a team at some point that they shouldn't beat. But if you're Belmont, you still look at everything. Everything's still ahead of you. You still have played good games, good tough games against some good teams, and it's really what you got to look for. I mean,
Yeah.
they can easily bounce back. So if I had to say on a stress meter wise for them, it's probably like a 4. Because again, they can still win the NBC.
Yeah. And I lied. They lost 2 of their last 3. They did. They did
Yeah.
beat Bradley by 10, so that's my apology there because I missed that one. It's on me.
They did.
I got USC on here after their loss to Michigan. I know it's Michigan, but I figure I'd just, still put them on here.
Well, like I was saying, like I had said with USC, they've been battling injuries. They've been battling, who's going to play, who's not going to play, and they don't really have a consistent squad to really, put out there, know who's going to score points, know who's not. So for me, it's nothing different that you've seen, stress meter wise. I would say it's probably like a 7, honestly, because it's just those injuries. It hurts. It really hurts. And when you don't have a specific guy that's going to give you points every single night, and you're kind of flip flopping, it becomes hard to know who's going to show up. And it's become hard to put those tough games down the stretch and kind of say, hey, we trust you. So I'd say probably a 7. And again, Big Ten's good.
Yeah.
So, but again, Michigan's so good that they could have just made this USC squad look really bad, and they're not as bad as they look. So
for sure.
We'll see.
Next, you got Tennessee on here. Lost to Arkansas. After lost to Arkansas, I mean, what do you think there? I mean, they've had some interesting moments this year.
Yeah, they've been up and down, quite up and down. They beat Houston. I mean, in Las Vegas, that's the only loss that Houston has so far. So you go, can't be bad, right? They can't be bad. They beat Houston. At the same time, then you look at a couple other games. This was a tough game. They played great. They played good. They played it close. But at the same time, you're playing the SEC. If you're gonna lose these games and you're gonna lose games like this, you will. There's gonna be some close games that you lose, and you're also gonna win some win some games that you are close. But if you're Tennessee, you have everything still in front of you. It's the start of conference play. Teams are gonna lose. I'd say probably like a 5. Kind of concerned about some of their play. They were a defensive team last year. They've been good on defense. Think they could probably step it up a little bit better. That's the only thing I kind of see that could be. Rick Barnes is going to get. They're going to get back. They're going to get back to playing good. So probably only like a 5.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move to North Carolina. After their big loss to SMU,
I don't know. I kind of said it when we were talking about the game. It's kind of they need to have a more consistent, more consistent based on
that's
offensive side. Consistent
just
from defense.
For me, consistency is just the key word. I think we talked about it earlier, way earlier on, whenever we started, talking about it. It's consistency. You got to see consistency for people to start believing.
Yeah, and again, is SMU as good as they are, or was it a game that they kind of just gave away?
I think SMU's a solid squad. I mean, the thing is, SMU is a solid team, but it's a game North Carolina should win.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's more of the thing.
You're 12th ranked in the nation. You should win that game.
Yeah, I mean, again,
easily.
SMU's a good squad.
Oh yeah,
but you should without doubt win that game. I mean, that is your game to win
for sure. And I think if you're North Carolina, you go, we lost this game. It's quite bad. We never led. So really, throughout this game, they led a couple times, but small margins. They didn't lead by much, and they didn't lead that many times. So if you're UNC, you go, well, we kind of gave away this game to SMU. We played it pretty much as bad as we think we can against an ACC squad, and we gave up this game. and we've lost, but we can bounce back. We know what we got to do. We know what SMU did better than us, and they just kind of bullied them throughout the game, led the whole game. UNC never really even had a chance. So you kind of go at the same time. Maybe this is just one of those games, But great teams don't let that happen.
Yeah.
Great teams do not just let up games and never come back, and that's what they did in that game. Once they started getting down in the second half, it was just runaway time for SMU, and that's the only thing I kind of fear with UNC is that they don't have anybody to kind of get them back in. If they start getting down to these teams, and when they play someone like Duke, it's like, well, if they get down to Duke and they can't kind of battle back, it could be tough. They could lose some of these games by big points. So I'd say probably like a 7. I wouldn't go any higher because again, ACC is not supposed to be too great, and they still have everything in front of them. They can beat a team like Duke, and then they can get right back in it. But at the same time, if they kind of let these games up, where they're just not on their best of play, and Trimble's the only guy getting them points, and it's kind of like, man, you can't really beat these teams.
Well, last team on here, I think I know what your answer is. I really don't think I need to put them on there. I think we can all agree St. John's is.
There's no stress because at this point we've seen it already this year. They've lost 5 games, 6 games,
5.
5. They played a non-conference schedule that was hard, sure.
But Providence, and then once you jump into conference play, that.
But man, you can't let this happen. This is not the St. John's team we saw last year. Completely different. Same coach, but completely different team. They don't have the same guys that they did last year. They just don't. They're not battling. I don't know if last year was just like a random one-hit wonder kind of thing or not. We'll see if they can bounce back and kind of maybe get into the tournament because at this point it's just getting to the tournament. They're not. In this rate, they're not going to make the tournament.
No.
And if St. John's doesn't make the tournament, especially in the Big East, that could be right now. Stretch for them is a 10.
Yeah,
they gotta turn around. They gotta turn around quick, and they could do that. We talked about earlier. They had a couple of easy games coming up, but yeah, they got to turn it around
for sure. All right, I think we're ready to jump in now. The transfer portal. Go over some big names there, and then we're going to talk about kind of just a quick recap of the college football playoff quarterfinal games.
Yeah, quarterfinal. Yeah, going into semifinal.
Yeah, and then go a little bit go over the semifinals. So let's go get the transfer portal because there's some big names that went in there.
Well, there's some big names that went in there, yeah, but there's some big names that have committed to another school. Obviously, transfer portal opened up a couple days ago, 3 days ago on the 2nd. It'll be open for 2 weeks. Only transfer portal opening this year. There will not be one in the spring. So big for teams to get the guys they need, and this is going to be it. So, if you're a fan of a team, you'll know what your squad is come, a week and a half from now. You're going to know what the squad is going into next year. So, yeah, just wanted to mention some transfers that have happened. Drew Messemaker, not a surprise. Follows his coach to Oklahoma State. We could honestly talk about the whole North Texas squad, and they've pretty much moved all of them. You had mentioned in kind of like the Marshall last year, how Marshall went to Southern Miss.
It's like, I'm not surprised. I think we had talked about it. I really thought Drew Messemaker would go to Oklahoma State, follow his coach. I feel like it's going to be the same situation there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Auburn's the same way with all the USF
and guys. When coaches change, when you have coaches that kind of flip over to another team, but it happens, you're going to have a lot of guys follow them. But we kind of mentioned it with these teams because they're a group of 5, and they kind of just move into these teams. The only difference here is that they're moving into an Oklahoma State squad in the Big 12. They could compete. The team's good. So transfer there. Fun to see what happens there. Another not really surprise. Benjamin Brahmer from Iowa State, tight end, going to Penn State. Again, a lot of those guys are going to follow their coach, Matt Campbell. It's going to happen. Nick Marsh, big name, great wide receiver from Michigan State, went to Indiana. Indiana's had a couple they've had a couple of good pickups. Another one at that, we'll just go ahead and jump to that one. Josh Hoover from TCU going to Indiana.
That's a nice pickup, man. He was
him and Nick Marsh together.
He was in that good offensive system at TCU.
Oh yeah, they're picking up. Man, I hate to say it, but they could. I mean, they're offensive wise, like looking at on paper stars. They're going to have probably more than what people think they have right now. Obviously, great right now, but
Yeah,
man, it'll be a good rebound for them. They could get a lot of guys. Alonzo Barnett from JMU going to UCF.
How does I would say it was I didn't think he was going to UCF.
I wouldn't. I didn't think it was on. I didn't know it was actually like a school you could go to, so I didn't really see it. But at the same time, I think it's a good fit. They've had guys like KJ Jefferson was there.
Big dude.
That's kind of what he reminds me of, kind of. But he runs a little bit more than he did.
And except KJ Jefferson was
huge.
Dude,
yeah,
massive.
Dylan Gabriel, played there. So it fits the scheme of UCF. Maybe they can get UCF back on the map. Can actually compete in the Big 12.
Maybe.
That's the tough part for them. They haven't really competed. But a great pickup for them. That should be great. A couple of small names I want to mention. Backup quarterback for Notre Dame, Kenny Minchie, is going to Nebraska, filling the hole that Dylan Raiola left.
Yeah, and they, of course, offensive line coach was fired there, which I think they did have the worst offensive line in the country, and they need to get that fixed fast.
Season. Not a surprise. Rocco back.
Penn State.
Follow Matt Campbell.
Oh man,
nothing really surprising there. A couple a smaller name that most people probably don't know of. Traquan Jones from ODU. He's a dog. Going to Maryland, and Colton Joseph.
I was surprised him going to Wisconsin. I really did not think that. I think we had said Virginia Tech was a possibility. I think.
Well, even I mean, there are some schools looking at him like FSU.
Yeah. Which I think FSU right now, Anthony Calandri is on his visit there. I believe that's his first stop. So we'll see if that's where he ends up there. But
DJ Lagway was having a visit there too.
Oh,
that would be something. Be interesting. Another Indiana guy, Turbo Richard from Boston College. Amazing name. I think it might be the best name in college football. And for a running back, your name's Turbo. Oh my gosh, please. Going to Indiana to join a couple more guys already. Indiana, man. French Porter right now is skyrocketing. Yeah, they're looking great. And they're only going to pick up more guys. So that'll be good. Well, Auburn needed to fill in wide receivers because they lost almost every single one of them. So they're doing it with USF guys. Christian Neptune is one of them.
From our hometown.
Yeah, just right down the street.
Good old Tate High School.
Right there right now.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a surprise. Again, we kind of see like USF, a lot of guys are gonna follow, and that's just one of them. And they're gonna be more. A couple other. I know there's another wide receiver that went there. Oh, Corey Pettigrew was the other one. Again, not too much of a surprise. We're gonna see a lot of those guys follow. A couple of other ones wanted to mention. Jackson Harris from Hawaii.
Absolute dog in Hawaii, man.
If you haven't watched Hawaii football,
no,
he was.
I've watched a little bit of Hawaii football this year.
Yep, wide receiver at Hawaii going to LSU.
Good old Baton Rouge.
That should be a good. I mean, whoever y'all get at quarterback, we'll see.
I think it'd be funny if we don't get Sam Levitt or Brendan Sorsby. That are the two guys that we
DJ.
God, please no. I mean, honestly, I say please no. You know what? It may be good for us.
I don't know, but we'll kind of see. Actually, talking about a DJ, it's a safety from Baylor, one of the best defensive backs in the portal, decided to go to Florida. So that's a good pickup. First pickup for new coach John Summerall, and a great one at that. Caleb Hawkins, North Texas, going to Oklahoma State. What? I know, right? Surprising. Weird. Jalen Rayner, Arkansas State quarterback, going to Iowa State.
Good old Cyclones.
He's not bad. We've watched a couple of Arkansas State games this year. Not a bad player. So could do something there. New coach as well. Backup quarterback for USF.
Freshman. True freshman, I believe.
Lachlan Hewitt is going to Auburn. My only question here is, was he not going to start at USF? Is he not going to start? If Byron Brown leaves, you're going to follow the quarterback you were just backing up, and you're going to back him up at a different school? I'm a little. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know if maybe he's thinking, obviously, Byron Brown last year, he'll be good enough to play at Auburn, but or he wasn't good enough to start at USF. But if that's the case, I don't know, back it up again. So maybe beats him out. But a couple of others, not technically committed yet. Not technically committed yet. He's like basically on the board to commit, but Aaron Philo has basically made up his mind to commit to Florida. Basically, water is wet. Nothing surprising there. We've talked about that since he's entered the portal. Wyatt Young, wide receiver for North Texas. Where's he going?
Oklahoma State, maybe.
Surprising, I know. But then the big one.
This is
came out last night. Came out last night. Brendan Swarsby, arguably the best. I mean, quarterback. I think he was ranked the top. Yeah, best quarterback in the portal. Where's he going? Oil money, baby. Oil money. Give it to me. 1 year, $5 million for Brendan Swarsby to go to Texas.
Don't forget the add-ons. You can't forget that.
Oh, Dave, you know what? Don't even matter what the add-ons are at this point. I saw speculation. Don't know if it's true. Maybe it's not. Texas Tech fans don't go after me. But saw a 1% profit from all oil and gas companies in West Texas, and potentially a $10 million one payment. It can't be true, right? You're not paying a guy basically $15 million. That's insane. I don't know. It might be true. If it is insane, I don't know what college sports has come to. But again, one year, not even 2 years. 1 year, $5 million. That's the highest paid guy.
And they're just still racking up defensively too. They've picked up, more guys throughout the day, but we won't go through all of them.
There's so many.
But I will say, White, the good old San Diego State defense, edge, absolute dog, San Diego State.
Yeah, that's
just adding that defensive squad, and they're still going, man.
Did want to mention Trinidad. He has a waiver right now to get an extra year from a injury red shirt that he had earlier in the season, earlier in his career, and they're kind of looking forward to having him back. More than likely, he's going to go back. So already he's signed back with Ole Miss. So if Ole Miss, if he gets a 6 year, then Ole Miss has got him. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to, big games of the last week, which college football playoff.
Yeah, I actually posted some recap videos on channels, so definitely go check those out. Me and you will run through these together real quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of just talk about these matchups going from the semifinal. Yeah. Let's just start at the top going down. Actually, no, we'll start with the first game. Miami, Ohio State. It just seems like when I doubted Miami in the last 2 weeks, they just seem to just give me the double bird and just say, "F you." And then,
I think they're doing it. I think they're doing it just for you.
Just for me.
I don't know, man. They look good. They looked good, and it's hard to say as a Florida fan. Really hard to say. I would love to see Miami lose every single possible game they could possibly play in their life, but at the same time, if you watch that Ohio State game, they kind of just the score doesn't show it. It's not a big blowout. It's 24-14. They win by 10. And yes, it's a lot of points, but at the same time, they honestly probably could have won by more.
They dominated.
They dominated that game.
The key for me, and we had talked about it, and I think I have to apologize to Miami because I thought Ohio State had one of the best. I thought they would dominate the line of scrimmage.
That's what I thought. Well, I thought their offensive line would be good enough for Ohio State to run the ball and then have those chances to throw the ball down the field to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. And they couldn't. And they couldn't do anything on the offensive line. Julian saying man, he was getting pressured more than I've seen.
Messidor and Ruben Bain This defensive line took over the game, the front seven, but this whole defense, what they were able to do. And I know some people had talked about the Ohio State offensive line, their issues against Indiana. Again, Indiana's a great defensive line. So is Miami.
Well, that's kind of what we thought was like Indiana has such a good defensive line and yes, gave Ohio State trouble. And we know that Miami has a good defensive line. But could they step up to fill those shoes that Indiana did against them? And that
yeah, well,
I mean, they did that if not better.
And you would think, I feel like if you're Ohio State, you would think, well, we just played a good defensive line, so maybe we could back it up. We got our first, visual, so maybe we could step up. They did it. This defense played outstanding. Carson had a good game. Did not turn over the football once.
No.
And they played well.
They didn't have any big mess ups in that game.
They did.
And that's the thing for Miami. If they don't, they do play good. I mean, that's the thing. If they don't have these mess ups that they have, and kind of like against Texas A&M, they had a couple, just drives weren't really doing anything. They were kind of just having bad plays, bad drops, stuff like that. Nothing was going with it their way. They still won by 7. But if things like that happen, it becomes hard for Miami to beat a football team, a good football team. But against Ohio State, they didn't have any of that. Did just want to say though, does the 25 days sitting for Ohio State does it hurt?
See, I would see. Here's the thing. I agree with that, but here's the thing I would say.
And this is the other thing, and we'll get to it here in just a minute. Is that the only team that sat and won is Indiana.
Hoosiers.
That means 1-7 teams that sit.
I'll say this
with bias, 1-7.
I would agree with that, but I feel like also
the Miami game was
what you can't. I think what's hard to say though is you can't discredit the fact that with those days, I get to a lot of time off, but you should be ready to go. You've had 25 days to prepare.
It's hard though. You're not playing a game.
You're not, and that's true.
I think these other teams have played games.
I agree, but I would say in Ohio State's case, they just did not look ready to go.
No,
and I believe it was Ryan Day was calling plays.
And that's the other thing. It was his first time. It was his first time calling plays in a couple of years because he wanted to take stress off of Brian Hartline since Brian Hartline's going to USF. He wanted to take a little bit of stress off of him, said, hey, I'll call plays. That might have been the downfall. I'm just going to put that. Brian Day is a great play caller. We've seen it. He called plays a couple of years ago before Chip Kelly came in. He's a great play caller. He really is. But does the rust of not calling plays for a couple of years kind of catch up to him? And I think
it did.
I think it did.
But anyways, good job, Miami.
Yeah.
Good team. Indiana, Alabama. I think we should run through this one quickly.
We can.
Indiana dominated the line of scrimmage.
Best team.
They are.
By far. I mean, Miami looked great against Ohio State, but Indiana, man, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say about them. There's nothing to say that we haven't seen already. But the thing is, they're doing it to a team in Alabama who's good. That's Alabama. That's Alabama.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. They dominated line of scrimmage. They played good. I'll say this. I think a lot of Alabama fans will agree with this statement. I mean, it's very hard to win a national championship when you're a one-dimensional offense.
Oh,
you can't.
Yeah.
Again,
and we knew that was going to be the trouble going into this game because of how good Indiana's line is. That it was going to give Alabama troubles. And could Alabama even run the ball at all? We've seen them not be able to do it against teams. Could they do it against Indiana?
I think they had 28 rushing yards this game, maybe.
Maybe. All I know is it was low.
Hey, Raiders for future number 1 overall pick right here, man. Outstanding in this game.
Mendoza, yeah. Man's like a robot. Doesn't mess up and then speaks like a robot.
Raiders be in the playoffs next year, man.
Okay, all right. We'll get to that down Thursday. Indiana looked amazing. And we'll talk about the team that they're playing next. Oregon, Texas Tech. The first game on Saturday.
I missed it. Yeah, I watched that one up. That's for me. I forgot to be on the right order.
That's sure. But Oregon, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech offense. I don't know what to say to you, man, but nothing. Absolutely nothing was rolling.
Texas Tech, I think this is where you can look at the sitting days. They sat for 26 days. They haven't played. Then you look at their offense, who has been great all year. They've done everything good. And their defense. They started the game good. Defensive wise, they were slowing. They were slowing Oregon. Defense overall was not bad. They did what they had to do to keep this game.
I'll say this: the starting field position was Oregon. I don't know the average yards at this moment.
Yeah,
But Oregon has some darn good field position.
Well, and the thing is, yeah, Texas Tech's defense did what they had to do to keep them in this game and give them a chance to win it, but their offense, nothing. I mean, nothing there. Morton, horrible. I mean, horrible, horrendous. What do you have? 4 turnovers?
I think they had 5 turnovers in that game. I don't know if they were all by him. I think they had 5 turnovers.
He was. I think he threw 3 picks. Did he fumble twice? Fumble once?
I think there was a couple.
Either way,
and then
he looked terrible. And I think this is where you could go with maybe the sitting kind of affected them. You know, you don't run offenses against good teams, or teams as of recent, and so your offense kind of stales out. And we've seen that with a lot of these teams. Whether it's the bye or not, we've seen that kind of some of these offenses kind of stall because maybe they've been sitting for a little bit and they haven't played. But I think
it was 4 turnovers, but
yeah.
Offensively, again, I think the defense did everything to keep Texas Tech in this game, and offensively they struggled, and that's all you can say there.
Yeah.
Oregon's defense looked outstanding, and I mean, you said it. We knew Dan Lanning would have them ready to go.
Tosh Lupoi was gonna get his squad for the defense ready after giving up 34 to JMU.
109 yards JMU. They came ready to play today, that day they came ready to play.
Yeah. Well, how many? But they only let up what, like
215 yards, 12 yards that game. They played well and they stood strong. I think Texas Tech was driving, getting to the goal line, made a huge interception in the end zone. I mean, bad throw, but it doesn't matter. Pick the ball off.
Yeah, horrendous throw, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
This defense is strong, man. Oregon's
if Oregon plays like this, they play Indiana next, which we know Indiana's the best squad right now. But if they play like this against Indiana, they couldn't have their get back. There's a chance. There's a chance.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying there's a chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying there is a chance.
For sure. I agree.
All right. Last game, great game. Amazing. I would say best game.
I said when I recapped the video, it was the best game of this college football playoff by
Ole Miss, Georgia.
Chambliss.
Georgia called the name out. Okay, just gonna say Georgia called them out. They called them out. And Ole Miss answered. Ole Miss answered.
I think the storyline of the year, and I don't want to get ahead of myself here. The storyline of the year would be Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss, and Pete Golding leads Ole Miss to a national.
If it happens, that might be the biggest. And it's just as big. It's just as big as like. I think it would be amazing if you had Kurt Signetti versus Pete Golding in the national championship. I think that would be amazing. You have a team in Indiana who looks the best they possibly could this year, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this might be the best storyline all year if they go and win the national championship, go undefeated. This is the best 2-year turnaround. It's the best turnaround ever." And then you look at Ole Miss, great all year, great all year, great all year. Nobody's whatever. And then Lane Kiffin leaves, and they're like,
but this is crazy. The assistants are leaving too. I mean, you've got guys leaving for the game, and
their tight end coach or linebacker coach, something like that.
There's a couple of guys going,
yeah.
But
and then like Pete Golding can step in, and everybody's like, hey, "Can he fill the shoes?" I whoop Tulane, and everybody's like, "Well, it's Tulane." They can play. They can play Georgia, and yes, they've already played.
He just beat Kirby Smart.
0-2 in 12-team playoff, by the way. So put it out there. Might not be his thing.
He just beat Kirby Smart, man. And Pete Golding's just casual sitting up there like, well, we're just doing.
If Pete Golding versus Kurt Signetti happened,
absolutely.
That would be. It doesn't matter who won. It'd be the biggest storyline of the year.
That'd be hilarious.
Because, hey, I just want to say, I know people were kind of crapping on Pete Golding becoming the head coach for the next couple years.
I saw a lot of grades for him, like as in
low grades.
I think I saw some D minuses.
Yeah, they were bad. People hated the signing because they were like, "You can go get somebody else. You're Ole Miss. Go get somebody else." I just want to say right now, I was not one of those people. At the same time, it's just proved me right to not be one of those people because Pete Golding.
I'll say this. I said this. That's how I feel. I had no say. I wasn't going to grade it. I was just sitting here like, let's see what happens. But now it's great. If he wins the national championship, I mean, again,
it's not even if they win it. They don't have to win it for people to be optimistic of this. They beat Georgia. Georgia kept coming back. They kept scoring. Gunnar Stockton had an amazing game. Can't.
Dude, he put his body on the line, man.
Brother,
he was getting
amazing game for Gunnar Stockton. Really, I mean, got to give them credit. Trinidad played outstanding. Again, how in the world was he as far down in the transfer portal last year?
So he's 60th. He was ranked 60th in the entire report, right? I believe was the ranking. So I think it's like 60th.
It was low. Yeah, it was like, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how the man's a baller, and we just talked about he could come back next year. So what could the squad look like next year?
And I love
with a coach that actually would have stayed for the team, for a whole actually have spring practice.
I just think I love what I'm watching. I think this is awesome. This is the college ball playoffs, man. And guess what? None of these teams have made an appearance here before.
Well,
not to the new format.
Yeah. Miami is the only team who's won the national championship before. Last national championship would be in 2001, obviously BCS. But 3 teams have never won. And if Miami gets beat, then yeah, we'd have a whole new champion, never seen before. Obviously, next game, Ole Miss, Miami.
Sure.
That could be a great game.
We'll go ahead and just jump right into that while we're already here.
Well, yeah, since that could be a great game. We'll see if Ole Miss really has what it takes. I think Miami's favored by 3.5. The 3.5 now?
I'll say this. I doubted Miami, and I really did.
And I'd say the same. I did, even though I knew they had it in them. I just didn't know if it would come out.
I think I more doubted the offensive side of things. I think for me, I think more of me. It was me with Carson Beck. I think I was uncertain of how he would play.
And this would be really interesting because you've seen Miami in the last 2 games. They've only scored 34 points in total, 10 and 24. Obviously, again, you played 2 great defenses.
They gave up 17 total.
Only gave up 17 total, but you're going against an Ole Miss team who scores a ton of points. They have a great offense, and their defense isn't their biggest strength. But at the same time, it's not. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, well, if this game does become a shootout, I know Miami's played 2 great defenses, but can their offense keep up?
I'll say this: can Ole Miss play against this Miami defense?
That's true.
I think offensively we know.
Well, in Georgia, man, if you're going to go against all teams to have a good chance to beat the next team, especially to beat Miami, if you're going to go up against any team, go up against Georgia. I mean, they're probably better on defense than Miami is, and Miami's great.
Wow.
But I think Georgia, and late in the season, early in the season they looked bad, but late in the season I think Georgia was one of the best defenses in the nation.
Dang.
And man, obviously Georgia didn't have the defensive line that they're used to having. They don't have the dogs that they're used to having at the defensive line. They're all good, obviously. And Miami has 2 guys, and Mesidor and Ruben Bain, and they're going to give Trinidad troubles. And I don't know, because you kind of looked at because at the same time you're like, well, Trinidad is great on the run and he great throw, but again, Marcel Reed was that too. They only let up 3. It was windy that day, we know, but
we saw a field goal kicking.
Then Julian's saying, obviously not a dual threat really.
He definitely hasn't. I mean.
And
didn't get right now. He has some chances to take off in that game, but either way, this Miami team,
it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, I'm very interested to watch.
Yes, the game could go either way. I think.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask. Who are you taking?
Man,
me, dude.
It's so hard because I can't go against Miami again. I can't because I've already done it twice, and again. As a Florida fan, I'd rather see them lose. But they're a great squad. They're a great squad. They play. Got to admit it. They play some of the best ball. Obviously, the last 4 teams standing. They play some of the best ball of all season, out of any team, and they have every chance to win it. And it's the same thing. If they can just keep doing what they're doing, and the defense can do what they've been doing, they can hold this Ole Miss squad. Because we've seen them have a couple of troubles. Obviously, that was when Lane was there. We haven't seen them have troubles when. Golding there. They were down to Georgia and they came back, and I think that shows some grit. That's hard to do especially against a Georgia team. You saw Alabama couldn't even do it. So, but man, I so want to take Ole Miss.
Me and you, I'd say I was preparing for today. I'm like, I know we're gonna go over it, and I was sitting there like, who am I gonna pick? I've been thinking about it for the last 4 days. I'm not gonna lie. I've been sitting here like. Who am I going to take?
I so want to take Ole Miss because I want to see them win. Miami's just looked too good. At the same time, I don't like. I hate to pick Miami. It'd be close. I think it'll be more of a shootout than what Miami has been used to the last two games. I think though. I think Ole Miss will score more points than 14 or 3. So I think the Miami offense is gonna have to be probably more productive than they have. And again, they played against two great defenses. Ole Miss isn't at that level of defense, so they probably can do that. But I think I think it's going to be the key. If Ole, because I can totally see Ole Miss jumping out to a quick lead, because that's what they do, and can I think Miami can bounce back. I think they can still keep it. I think I can't pick, man. It's hard. But I'm gonna say, prove me wrong again. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
I did some research going to this game. I looked at one thing, and I knew I went and looked at Ole Miss's offensive line grades because I was sitting here thinking,
probably gonna prove me wrong here. You're probably gonna like
no, they actually have a solid offensive line. And that's why I was sitting here looking. I'm like, I mean, that was my big thing. I'm like, okay, Ruben Bain and Messendor. We saw what I think if I remember, they did some weird packaging.
They like to give them the right. They like to give them the right side.
They both just let it roll.
It becomes hard.
And you talked about one thing, of course, being the dual shootout. I think this can be the best off. I mean, this can be one of the better offenses, in college football that Miami's going to see.
What do you think, Bill? Who's going to win? Miami Ole Miss right now. Come on, who's pick it? Who's winning?
Unfortunately, I'm going to go against Miami for a third.
No, oh my gosh, we're going to be proved wrong again.
I think this Ole Miss.
If any year's going to be this for Ole Miss.
I'll say this though. Here's what I'll say about Ole Miss, and we didn't talk about it. We talked about Trinidad Chambliss. Let's about Keywan Lacey in the backfield, man, and that's another animal. Yeah. And we talk about Miami with I about to say Kadarius Toney, Malachi Toney, about Malachi Toney and Mark Fletcher.
You look at it both ways. Ole Miss, I mean, they've gone against good squads, obviously.
But I think this offense is going to get rolling. I think they're going
to gone against good guys as well, but they haven't gone against a running back like Keywan Lacey.
I'll say this though: if there's a game at Miami, this is going to be the best defense they face in this playoff. Ole Miss got a solid defense.
True.
Not.
I think back though. What's the only? I think ACC running back that could be like Keywan Lacey, Isaac Brown at Louisville. What did he do to that Miami defense? Obviously, it was early in the season.
Ran.
But what did he do to that Miami?
Ran all over them.
That's the only guy I can compare to that they played.
Yeah, and that's
this season.
I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I think people have talked about it, but I'm talking about it here. Keywan Lacey.
They've gotten better since then.
Yeah, but Keywan Lacey, that's another animal.
Explosive.
This Chambliss will make plays.
Oh yeah, but
you got Keywan Lacey to worry about too.
Yeah,
I think Sam Bliss can do it both ways. The big thing is, I don't know if this Miami offense now if it
does get into a shootout, it's whether or not Miami can stick with them. If it doesn't become a shootout, they can win this.
And I think if there's a defense they can do it with, I think this is the one they can do it with. But I'm going to take Ole Miss as a explosive offense. They've done it, and they've been able to do what they've been able to do.
Let's go quick here and talk about the Peach Bowl. Yeah. Indiana, Oregon. Obviously, Indiana's favored by 4. What do you guys want?
I'm taking Indiana. I mean,
me too.
Me too. I mean, I keep it straightforward. A simple breakdown. I mean, I'll say this: Indiana's defense, man, that Oregon O-line's gonna have to hold up. That Oregon offense gonna have to hold up.
Well, we saw it early in the season what they did to them, and obviously, same thing with Ole Miss, Georgia. Hard to beat a team twice. And so it's going to be even harder for Indiana this time to beat Oregon. But I think Indiana's
who's beating Kirk Signetti, man?
I think Indiana's only gotten better.
You're going to beat that guy?
Who's going to beat him?
I'll tell you what was great. I love the facial expressions on the 4th of the one. Dude, the guy is just standing there.
Hey, he finally smiled at the end of the game, man. You got to give it to him.
I know he never gave me a smile.
Dan Laney's going to have a squad ready, though. They obviously always is. That defense looked great this last week against a great offense. So if it shows up like that, it could be a close game, like a low scoring game, or it could be a shootout. Both these offenses we've seen amazing.
But I'm saying this, man, I think this is going to be more. I think defensively,
I think it will.
I think both.
I think it'll be a low scoring. Maybe maybe kind of like how Oregon scored 23 against Texas Tech, kind of won something like along that line.
I think Indiana's defense, though, man, and Oregon's defense, I think both defenses have gotten better. I think it's be more of a defensive battle than I was. I mean, as crazy that is to say, because I mean, these offenses.
Like a Miami, Ohio State, 24-15 kind of thing. I think it easily could be that, but I think Indiana's got the. I mean, man, they got the dogs. They've got the players to win the whole thing, and that was the team to pick that I picked to win the whole thing, and I'm still sticking with it, even if it's against different teams than I thought.
Yeah, my team's going in the quarterfinal round. That was quite a bold prediction, but I didn't even go to the finals. So you know what? I'll just stick with what I got there. And
yeah. So we think Indiana will miss.
Maybe I don't know.
We'll see. We might be proved wrong. Both of us might be wrong, and we might have the complete opposite in Oregon and Miami, which would be,
again, I guess Miami, Ole Miss.
Either matchup in the championship is going to be great. Great year for college football so far. And don't forget to watch the games on the 8th and the 9th. And
Thursday?
3 days.
Thursday?
3 days.
Friday?
4 days.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait.
Gonna watch them. No, we'll be watching them. We'll talk about it whenever we come back next. And
go watch those basketball games, man. Conference plays on. Man, yeah. I think that's what I would say for.
I think that's probably it. I think. I'm sorry, I thought I just saw maybe.
Oh boy,
some news potentially. Thought maybe not, but all right. Well, that's pretty much all we've got to do for today. We'll be back probably Thursday with an episode.
Yeah, will be.
Obviously, college football playoffs gonna be out.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get.
We'll see. We'll let y'all know.
We're gonna get one out. We'll probably get one out before the playoff games. We'll definitely got some NFL to talk about.
We gotta do that.
We will do an NHL playoff picture. Haven't done one on here in a minute.
Sure.
And then we'll go over some news.
Well, we'll have transfer portal news. We'll have everything.
Let's plus some NFL news. There's some stuff going on there, man.
True.
So we'll get into that on Thursday. But you got anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. We're gonna go play some golf.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna beat him. So it's fine. It's all right. We'll see y'all Thursday. And I'm
gonna take it.
Yeah. Remember to follow us on all our socials: Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube, Instagram,
Threads, whatever.
Yeah.
Go follow us. And we'll see y'all Thursday.